Mike's sleeping in my old bed.
That is.
Yeah, we got to fix that.
Wait, are you still having issues?
Oh, yeah.
This feels like an off-air conversation, but we definitely need to figure that out.
877-881-1053. Do you want Mike and Derek to discuss their beef about the bed right now or off air?
I feel like I'm going to lose this one for sure.
I didn't sell him a bad bed. It's a great bed. He just
Do you think it's a great
wrong.
bed, Mike?
Well, if you like your sleep number at 0 when you wake up in the morning, then it's a great bed.
They set up something wrong. Better get a hold of sleep number.
All right, we need to figure this
Look,
out.
all sales on Facebook Marketplace are final. All right, so
That's true. I'm not saying anything.
That's a good point.
I'm the one that sold it.
Now, okay, that sounds shady. Like, I'm the one who sold it. All right, the return of top 3. Now, as you can recall, one time in particular, top 3 got us in a lot of trouble.
amazing segment though.
Like a lot of trouble. And there was national boycott attempts, and it was just a big to-do for something that didn't even happen. But now this top 3, I think, will be a lot safer. Your top 3 Rangers responsible for this first place start. 877-881-1053. Want to text in? We also hear from the folks on Twitch and YouTube and from the 575. Go with the beef from the 469 right now. From another 469. Fight, fight, fight. Let's get into bed beef talk.
I like it.
Bed beef.
Can Kevin power rank his kids? Ooh. Yeah. Right now, it's probably Brandon then Noah.
Wow.
Thought it was Moses. It's Noah. Okay, I got it.
Noah. Yes.
Eli. Wow. Why? Because one needs so much help and the other one, he still needs help, right?
Yeah, sometimes. Other times, like having conversations with him, you would think I was interrogating him and he was a terrorist or something like that. I'm like, I just wanted to know how your day was.
All right.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Rangers responsible for 6.
I'd like to go first. One, I want to...
Good Lord.
Oh, I thought my bad, Mike. I thought my mic was off.
You're going to drive Mike away too? Okay.
He didn't know it. He knew his mic was on.
It is fight night in here right now.
Man.
Fight morning.
Derek and Mike have beef. Corey and
I
Mike
showed up at
have
9:35 because I'm like, we got a 30-minute show today.
Well, remember, I got beef with the guy in the elevator.
That's right. Oh, my God.
Who's beef day?
DJ?
We
I don't know who it was.
No. This other guy. We got 2.5 hours. You know what? This segment might be lost. We'll
come back to it. 'Cause
Bruce
I got it.
Bochy.
Joey, do you want to weigh in on if you think we should just scrap this segment and give into
No, we
nonsense?
should do the
Here, we'll
baseball.
do it real
the
quick.
baseball.
Let's go. I got it. So my number 1, I'm going to say right now that's been an important part would be Martin Perez with the consistency on the mound.
Okay.
Number 2 is going to be Marcus Semien. He's been very consistent, the leader of the clubhouse, I feel,
He was
keeping this
awesome.
right.
Yeah.
And number 3 is Josh Jung. I feel like
That's
he's
nice.
done an outstanding job so far this year. A great start to the season. Very excited with what this Rangers team is doing, and he is definitely being a part of that.
Why are you hating on Josh Young over here?
Shocking.
It's
because
my picks.
one of my top 3 I know is probably going to get little to no votes, and it makes me really sad.
Sandy
Corey,
Leon.
you're up.
Okay.
Who?
Leon? Sandy
Oh, I
Leon?
thought you said Daniel Jones.
Well, it's kind of weird because he took 2 of the ones that I liked. But I will go with Marcus Semien for sure.
Yep.
I will also add in one Corey Seager. I know he's injured, but that dude was on fire.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
the only reason why I didn't take him.
Yeah, no, and he'll be back, and he'll be an integral part of them going to that next level. And then I'm going to say Andrew Heaney. Yeah, I know it's not giving you 58 innings every outing, but he's had some pretty strong outings in a spot where we were like, is he our 5th pitcher? And if you're getting that from your 5th, that's pretty impressive.
Can I pick Bruce Bochy? Because I think he's changed a lot.
And by the way, a lot of people have texted in Bruce Bochy.
I mean, Bochy
so
and Chris Young,
100%.
absolutely.
I think Bruce Bochy, I'm not, this is a lot of credit to give a manager, and we know Boch wouldn't take the credit because he's a real manager, unlike Jason Kidd, is that he wouldn't take any of the credit, but I do believe there's been a couple games here where he's managed the bullpen and managed the game, whether you give him credit for Josh Smith laying down a bunt to move guys to second and third with 1 out. Like there's been multiple times like, man, Boch is a great manager and he sets a great attitude and a great way to be of like, if something goes wrong, I'll take the blame. If Taylor Hearn has a bad game, yes, Taylor Hearn had a bad game, but you know what? Maybe I should have used somebody else there. I'm going to take the blame for that game getting a little bit out of hand, stuff like that. My second one, and I'm just trying to pick people you haven't picked because it is such a great start. I'm going to pick Will Smith. Without getting Will Smith on this team, I also think there could have been a couple losses that Will got you out of. When he came in with bases loaded, nobody out in a 4-2 game against the Kansas City Royals, and at the end of the inning, it was 4-3. Now, that game went extra innings. That's the Jonah Heim walk-off home run. Will Smith, if he's not on your team, you lose that game.
Yeah.
And then there's been a couple other occasions where Will Smith has come in big situations. Even though the game looked a little bit out of hand in Houston as the Rangers looked like they were going to win on Sunday Night Baseball, I believe at the time it was 6-1. It might have been 6-0. And he came in again with the bases loaded with Yordan Alvarez up. And he's able to get out of that situation. And it still looks like, oh, the game's well within hand. So Will Smith will be number 2 for me. And number 3, just being a little bit different because I love all y'all's answers, I am going to go with Jacob deGrom.
Okay.
Because I do think he sets the standard for this pitching staff.
I also think that, too, if we're going to add, Bochy, we got to give Maddox credit, too. Yeah. Maddox is another one that's really kept this pitching staff together. Everybody's giving different answers. That goes to show how good this team is right now. I get it. They're 100%. Not at the best record, but they are still playing really good baseball.
Just to that point, you know how long it's been since, and this isn't a staggering record. The Rangers are 11-6. You know how long it's been since they started 11-6?
1984.
Okay, well, not that.
2011.
Not that long.
16, I'm going to guess.
It's been 10 years. So since 2013, even at 11-6, this is the best start that they've had in 10 years.
How did things go that year?
Playoffs?
That is debatable.
Actually, no, that was
game 163, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because 14 was the disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not on that same trajectory.
It was the Baltimore or Tampa that year.
Yeah.
That one was Baltimore, Joe Saunders and Darvish.
Well, and I mean, look back at the 11 season. Look back at when Will Clark would say about that team that went to the playoffs. He said it. We asked him about it when we had him on a few years ago. They were a cast of characters.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's not one, like, you can't just pick one out of this group. All of us are doing something. And that 11 team, the 10 team, like everybody was contributing in some way. And that's the way this team's working right now.
Now, you guys have brought up great points about the variety. I'm going to read you some of these, and that will just further hammer it home from the 4-3-2. Josh Jung, Bruce Bochy, and Mike Maddox. From the 4-6-9, CY, that's Chris Young, Boch, and the ownership. From the 6-8-2, Boch, Simeon, and Adolis. From the 8-1-7, Will Smith, Marcus Simeon, and Bochy. And from the 9-4-0 and 8-3-2, they both mentioned somebody who hadn't come up at all, but is in my top 3. I'm going Marcus Simeon, number 1. What he has done in the absence of Corey Seager is absolutely astonishing. So since Corey Seager has been out, Simeon has reached base half the time and has 5 walks versus 2 strikeouts, which is crazy. He has the best WAR on the team right now, even though it's exceedingly early. My second pick is Dane Dunning. Dane Dunning has given up 8 hits in 15 1/3 innings and no runs. And he's the guy who, when pitchers have got hurt, like obviously you think of DeGrom, for example, but when people have gotten hurt, he's slid in there and he's pitched more than 3 innings 3 different times already this year.
To your point, they brought his name up on MLB Central. So this morning when they were talking Rangers, they brought up the value of Bruce Bochy running a bullpen and the value of Dane Dunning being able to eat up innings, and not only eat up innings, but just keep putting zeros on the board to either keep you in the lead because of an injury or give you a chance to come back. And I always say this, Derek, the Dane Dunning job, Cole Reagan's job, is a very difficult job because usually, unless there's an injury, we can talk about this, is how tough it is. A lot of times you're coming in the 3rd or 4th inning, and you're coming in because the other team has like 6 runs on 7 hits. They're seeing the ball well. They're hitting the ball hard. They have a lot of confidence when the middle reliever usually comes into the game, and you have to stop the momentum that they have created early in a game.
Yeah, and that's what is so great about this. I mean, we talked about before the season started, the biggest question mark was going to be the bullpen. We didn't know what we were going to get out of it. Guys like Dunning and Reagans have literally stepped up and just ran with it. We might have found something key with them. There's guys that, hey, maybe you're not a starter. This is your job. These guys are taking advantage of the opportunity that they got. That's what's huge. And yeah, when you get into these situations where you've got to shut the door and do everything, granted, he hasn't really had to come into a game where it was down 6-0, but he's still coming into this game and treating it as if it's 0-0 and just shutting the door, not letting things happen.
And you mentioned this other person. I'm also going to go with Jacob deGrom. I know that first start was scary, but in the 3 ensuing starts, he's thrown 17 innings and given up 9 hits to go along with 25 strikeouts. I think it's been incredible. And then he said yesterday before the game.
Yeah, but what's his whip?
Ooh, his whip is 0.87.
Sounds low.
Which is great.
What?
In this scenario.
Are you serious?
If you have a whip at 1 or below, you're pitching insane.
Oh, okay. All right.
And he said before the game yesterday he does not anticipate missing a start. And so he said he feels ready to go. And
he got
back
his
on
wrist
track
worked on
for
or
his-
fixed it? Iced it?
I forgot
I
about
hope
this,
so.
and you hope he's healthy. If he pitches Sunday and everything goes well, it is right now. There's still a little bit of time, and it's already a premium ticket. Friday night at the end of this month will be Jacob deGrom versus Garrett Cole. Yankees versus Rangers, a Friday night game versus the Yankees. Look, a lot of things have to go right. Obviously, rainouts, all kinds of different things, but right now, it looks like the matchup should be a Friday night. I believe April 28th might be that date.
The only potential rainout, Mike, would be in Cincinnati right before that because they have Oakland here.
Yeah.
And so
you might have to look at the Yankee schedule too to make sure. But
right now it's scheduled DeGrom versus Schmidt on that Friday. That's the way it looks right now.
It's a worthless game.
No, because it could because Garrett Cole would be the next game or the game right before it. So it would be Cole and Heaney. So if things go in the Yankees schedule, then it could push Cole down.
I wonder how much that still matters. We've talked about it before. How much that matters, the ticket price of like a DeGrom versus a Garrett Cole. Because if you think about in Rangers history, when was the last time that you could have 2 of the best pitchers face each other on the mound?
Well, I mean, this doesn't answer your entire question, but straight away from the 5-6-1, I haven't missed a DeGrom start yet. And so we talked about, would that be stop down? The other thing I think is really cool is how many times Will Smith and Dane Dunning have gotten mentioned. Like, not to say that they're bad players or anything, but I don't feel like we spent a whole lot of time, even a week before the season, saying these 2 guys could pivot. But from the 817, they have Will Smith from the 214, Dane Dunning from the 940, Dunning from the 832, Dunning from the 214, Will Smith. And like you see it over and over and over again. And outside of your Simeons, and just think about the injuries you've had. Injury to Seager, potential injury to Jacob deGrom, and you're clicking along.
Garver's been out.
Yes.
And we do got to give credit to the owners. They literally went out, got the pieces
sure.
that the fans kept saying. So, yes, they got to be in there, too, as a possible top ranking.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you about that. And they got trashed for several years. So, got to give them their props.